Hi, I'm David from Greenfall Motor Company, and today we're looking at something different. It's not a Mazda, this is in fact a Land Rover Discovery. First introduced in 1989, it was known as the farm vehicle, and it's gradually developed into this humongous, some may call a Chelsea tractor. But today we're going to have a look, and we're going to review it, we're going to drive it and see how it compares to, you know, the Audi Q7, the XC90, or even the upcoming Mazda CX-80. So this one we've got here is in fact the third generation. It was introduced in 2017, and Land Rover gave it a big overhaul. Styling wise, I think it looks really good. Some people call it the alternative to a Range Rover. It's a bit more practical, more hard plastics and materials around. And it's, in fact, some people call it the Discovery 5. But anyway, that's all technical stuff. This one we've got here, the specification, it's the luxury HSE, and I've got that written down. So I believe, because it's got the luxury, it's the HSE, it's towards the top end of the specification walk. Someone in the comments will know that better than me. And the engine is the SDV6 diesel. It's a 3 litre and it produces about 306 horsepower. So base price for one of these when it was new was about $68,950 inclusive of VAT. This has got some options on, taking it to about $3,590. So total list price when new for this car is £72,180. So you've got the key facts. Let's have a look around. This one in particular is in the Land Rover silver colour, and as you can see, there's some black accents on the front. It looks very Range Rover-y. You've then got these absolutely huge wheels and brake discs. As you can see, Discovery on the fender in black. Huge door mirror. This car's making me look very small. I promise I'm not this short. I don't know whether you can see as well on the roof, it's got the black rails and it's actually got a gloss black roof. Now that was what made up that £3,000. That's one of the extra options there. Let's come round to the back. This is the bone of contention on this car. Some people absolutely love this little nod to the past, which is having the number plate aligned on the left, as it was on the traditional Discovery. Some people don't like this. I really like it. I think it stands out. It gives the car character, and I think you've got to be careful when you're creating a car this big to actually make it look quite sporty, and it's got this lip up here. Well done, Land Rover. Good job. So yeah, that's the outside of the car. So now, let's have a look inside. Oh, so a bit of a step in up until the interior. This is a nice place to be, all in all. It is so spacious. It's one of the most spacious cars I've sat in. In terms of features, there is cubby holes everywhere. So you've got a huge cavernous door bin. You've got cup holders here. You've then got this clever little cubby hole for your valuables in here. I don't think I'll ever get bored of that. That's a fantastic feature. You've then got this organiser for your coins and bits, and then this cavernous, massive centre console storage. I've never seen anything like it, and I believe you can spec a fridge in there to keep your water cool, which is nice. In terms of functionality and features, so it's got a touchscreen which has got Apple CarPlay and all of your necessary media, nav, etc. It has then got these fancy pants cameras. So you've got a top-down view, which is absolutely crucial in a car like this. Due to the size of the car, you need it. It's then got 360-degree cameras, so you can see right the way around the car, as well as the beepers, to make it as easy as possible when parking the car. Now, it does in fact have 4-zone climate control. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can stay nice and cool or nice and warm no matter what time of the year it is. In terms of seats, fully electric. They've got this lovely headrest which kind of bolsters around your head. I've not seen a car with something like this before. It is lovely. You've then got these kind of armchair armrests, which make it a really comfortable place to be. You can tell that you're somewhere quite premium and somewhere quite special. Now, as you'll be able to see, it's got this huge glass sunroof. There's one in the front and there's one further back in the back. So that means that in the front it's nice and bright, but one thing you often have with cars this size, in the back it ends up quite gloomy and dark. That is not something you have to worry about in the Land Rover Discovery. Okay, so let's have a little sit in the back. Here you have got those 2 zone climate control, which I was talking about. You also have HDMI connectivity for the 2 televisions, which you get in this specification, in the back of the car. I love that, it's really cool, kind of retro as well. You've got this fantastic Land Rover remote to use them, and then you've got 3 almost full-size seats, and oh my goodness, they're so soft. And I don't quite know where the button is. Oh, here we go, I found it. So they do actually recline, and they do actually go forward as well, so you can get maximum comfort. In front of you, you've got a cubby hole for documents, whatnot, another cavernous kind of space to keep your Land Rover headphones in the door, and like on an aeroplane, you've got little storage and tables. It's great, really nice place to be. And here in the back, it's got a colossal amount of speakers, this car. You've got the Meridian sound system, if I'm pronouncing it right, which is really difficult to get across to you on video, but it sounds fantastic. So if you're thinking about buying this car, you're probably thinking Audi Q7, Range Rover, that type of thing. But the key item, which I imagine you're considering this for, is the space and practicality. So let's have a look at that. The doors are quite heavy, but they're really big. Look how wide they open. You've got that huge opening space to get in. You've then got this handle, so you know, if you're an old man like George, you can lift yourself up into there. You've then got, as I said before, these 3 spaces and very little, probably that much of a transmission tunnel. So it's really nice. The only thing I would say is my knees feel a bit high up, but not to worry. Let's have a look at the boot, or the rear seats. So I have a little button here, and I press that, and electronically, the middle row comes forward. I then do manually have to push the seat forward. I can then climb in, and what I will do is, it's a bit tricky this one because it's a little bit dark. I can then sit here with a passenger in front of me. Now these seats, they're not for children, they're for full-sized adults, which is really nice to see. Now, I've actually put this seat forward a bit, so I've got even more room, but even reclined, I'm about 5'10", got plenty of space there. Nice big window here, sunroof there, so I don't feel like I'm cramped in the boot of a car. In fact, I just feel like I'm in a middle row. You've then got this space here, which, if I check my notes, is 258 litres of space here. So you'll fit some shopping bags. You might be hard pushed to fit a suitcase. With all of the seats down, you have a colossal 1,137 litres of space. Now let me show you, this is all done electronically. If I press the right buttons, I should be able to make all of the seats go down electronically. And as you can see now, the front row and the back row are electronically coming down. How much easier is that? And you've got this huge square space. It's like a van, like an estate car. You can just load in whatever you need. Good for those IKEA trips. And when you're ready, the seats will come back up all by themselves, fully electronically. The only minor inconvenience is, I guess, you've got to put the headrests up yourself. So there we go, very practical. You've got the tow hook as well, which you do have the electronic option for, so you can pop that away and pop it out electronically. This one actually has the fixed option. So this version of the Land Rover Discovery does in fact come with air suspension. Naturally, the base specification comes with your standard coil springs. However, if George shows you this, we can in fact lower and increase the ride height. Okay, so let's see what the Land Rover Discovery 3rd generation handles like on the road. So MPG wise, it's advertised between 36 and 37. However, realistically, I think you're probably going to achieve closer to 32, which is reasonable considering the size of the car. It's got a V6 diesel, and you can fit 7 adults in here. In terms of pulling, it absolutely has the power to pull when you need it to, within the speed limits, obviously. And at the moment, we're just coasting along a straight country road. Now, comfort-wise, I'm really comfortable. I've got my armrest. I've got this fantastic kind of commanding view of the road ahead, which will be brilliant on the motorway. So it'll be good in that situation. Now, one thing I can feel is the suspension is working quite hard. It's constantly doing something, and I don't necessarily mean that in a great way either. It does feel a bit lively, the suspension. Not sure what the coil springs are like, because this specific version is the air suspension version. Again, steering is really smooth. You can tell you're driving a big vehicle. When steering, sometimes the steering can be slightly vague. It's not a sporty setup by any means, so if you're coming from a Range Rover Sport, the harder ride into this, then please do consider that. The 8-speed gearbox is wonderful. Not had a single issue, it doesn't hesitate. And you can't really, unless you kick down, you can't really feel it move through the gears, which is nice. That's what you want. So we're just in traffic here, and we're just gradually and smoothly moving off. Now again, with the air suspension, it is slightly disappointing. I am feeling most of the bumps in the road. I feel like I'm getting pushed from left to right a bit as well with the air suspension. So let's see, let's kick down, put a bit of power down, there we go. And around the bend. Again, the lead is fairly big, but really comfortable, really commanding drive. You're not going to be hooning this around country lanes. It's not what it's designed for. It's designed to fit everyone in, the whole family, the dog, and have a really comfortable ride. So here's 4 of my favourite things on this Land Rover Discovery. Number 1 is the air suspension, the fact you can move the ride up and down for the terrain you're driving on and for loading the older passengers. Number 2 is the space. I've not driven another car which has so many places to store things and put things, perfect for a family with a dog, etc. It's brilliant. Number 3, space usually comes at the cost of luxury. That is not a compromise you have to make with the Land Rover Discovery. And finally, the driving position is fantastic. You feel on top of the world, you feel very safe. It's brilliant. And here's 3 things which I'm not so keen on. So as the rear of the car, you can look at it sometimes and think it looks slightly ugly, but that is, personal opinion. Number 2, the price and specification. You have got to spend a lot of money to get this car to the beautiful specification this example is here we've got. And number 3 would have to be the size and handling. You do know you're driving a big car. It feels like you're driving a big car, and sometimes the suspension can be slightly unsettled, so that's worth bearing in mind. So this has been my review of the Land Rover Discovery, something you're probably considering if you're looking at an Audi Q7, a Volvo XC90, or coming soon to Greenford Motor Company and Mazda, the Mazda CX-80. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.